So how many articles and YouTube videos have you seen that are like, this person made $5,000 a month doing absolutely nothing and it sounds too good to be true because it absolutely is. These people make a ton of extra money doing this side hustle, but you gotta buy thousands of dollars worth of things first. This one guy became a millionaire, but he's literally the only one ever, and your chances of succeeding are about 0.5%. Today we're going to be talking about a side hustle of mine that I genuinely think anyone can do. No scams, no gimmicks, no buying a ton of things to get started. And in this video, we're going to cover what it is, my experience doing it, and why I think you can do it too. If you're new here, my name is Hannah. I live in New York City. I make a lot of videos about that, and for the past year, I've also been uploading my videos on a site called NewsBreak. And I'm just gonna say now, before we get any further into this video, because I don't want you to click off, NewsBreak is not like YouTube. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a ton of time. You don't need a camera-ready personality, and there aren't crazy monetization requirements before you can even start making money. Phew, okay, so now that we have that out of the way, let's keep talking about it. So I got started on NewsBreak about a year ago when a recruiter there reached out to me after seeing my videos on YouTube and asked me to be a contributor for them. So this is not necessary. You can apply on your own. No one has to reach out to you. This is just how it worked for me. And when this happened, I was very interested in it because at the time, I was not monetized on YouTube yet. And for NewsBreak, you were monetized from the get-go. You didn't have to meet any kind of subscriber requirement. So I was really excited about it. I do want to say though, before we get any further, that this is different for writers. NewsBreak has article contributors and video contributors. And for article contributors, there is a follower count minimum and a certain amount of articles that you have to write before you can get paid, I believe. But I'm speaking from the perspective of a video creator. So that's what we're going to be talking about. If you're interested in being a writer on NewsBreak, this video might not be exactly what you're looking for. So what even is NewsBreak? NewsBreak is touted as being a local news-based app. And yes, you can absolutely read and post about the local news on there if you want to, but it doesn't necessarily have to be breaking news. It can be, here's this pretty sunset that I saw in my town, or here's this parade I went to the other day. That's the kind of thing I do. So like I said, I've been using NewsBreak for about a year now, but up until recently, I had not been very serious about it. I was just uploading the videos that I had filmed already for YouTube and also putting them on NewsBreak. I also don't upload vlogs or anything personal on NewsBreak, so really only about half of my content was getting uploaded there too. And I still usually made between $50 and $120 a month from NewsBreak with no extra effort outside of what I was already doing. But things changed for me back in July. I was absolutely enlightened. One day, I was just casually watching a video by another New York City creator that some of you guys might know, John Barr, and this video was entitled, Broke AF in NYC, Make $1,000 a month with these side hustles, which, yes, I'm in. Living in New York City, you always need some extra money. So I'm sitting there and watching the video, and then John starts talking about NewsBreak and how he had been uploading his YouTube videos there, but he found that short form content does really well on NewsBreak, and started talking about his own experience making something like over $100 on a 30-second video. So this was all news to me, and my mind is racing with ideas. I had just never really paid very much attention to NewsBreak. I didn't really know what it was about. It was just, I was putting my YouTube videos up there and making some extra money from it. I wasn't really giving much thought to it potentially becoming a really profitable side hustle. So this led me to try an experiment. For the month of August, I decided to take NewsBreak really, really seriously and post a video every single day. I mean, Full transparency, I did miss 2 days, but I doubled up in the following day. So it was 31 total videos for the month of August. I mixed up my content a lot throughout the month to get an idea of what was going to perform best. Most of my videos were under a minute in length, several were between 1 and 5 minutes, and then I also had a couple of full-length, long-form YouTube videos on there as well. Some of them were just short clips of things I saw while I was out and about, like this video of this super cute squirrel eating a cracker in Central Park. For other ones, I pulled segments from my long-form videos. Like, I took the part of me talking about Columbus Circle out of my Instagram Plans My Day on the Upper West Side video and titled it Columbus Circle in under a minute. The ones that seemed to perform the best, though, honestly really surprised me. It seems that NewsBreak viewers are just really into transportation-related things. Tunnels, bridges. I'm not even kidding. Those videos really outperformed everything else. The best performing video of my whole experiment didn't even take place in New York City. It was of the Big Walker Mountain Tunnel near Whitfield, Virginia. In the month of August, it got just over 5,000 views, and since then, it's bumped up to 6,500 views. Another video that did really well was the Fort McHenry Tunnel in Baltimore. And this kind of also leads me to believe that you might actually have better luck on NewsBreak if you live in a small to mid-sized city, because less content to compete with. However, two of my videos that performed really well were of the Roosevelt Island Tramway in New York City and the longest escalator in the New York City subway system. So transportation does kind of seem to be a theme throughout. It also just seems much easier to grow a following on NewsBreak than on YouTube. The algorithm over there just seems a lot friendlier for smaller creators. It seems like the individual video matters more than your performance on prior videos or how many followers you already have. On August 1st, when I first started this experiment, I had 1,610 followers. By August 15th, I had 2,034, and on September 1st, right after I wrapped up the experiment, I had 2,366 followers. It really appears that as long as you are consistently posting, your following is going to grow. I will also share with you how much some individual videos made, as much as how much I made over the course of the whole month. So NewsBreak's setup is very similar to YouTube in that they have an RPM, or revenue per mil, and they determine how much you make per 1,000 views on a video. This varies video to video. I really have no idea how they decide which ones are gonna be higher. To my eye, it just kind of looks random. I do think it'll be a bit higher if you're posting something super relevant, like if it's the 4th of July and you're posting a video of the fireworks. So I'll pull up the August page of my earnings and we'll look at that Big Walker Mountain Tunnel video that did so well. It had an RPM of $11.62, which is pretty average, I think. So with 5,053 views, I made $58.71 off a minute-long video of something that I was already doing anyway. I was stuck in the car anyway, might as well film it. I will say though, that I'm not sure if posting every single day over there is really the move. I can't be sure yet. It's gonna take some more trial and error, but some of my videos did really well and some of them flopped like never before. Back when I was just posting, 3 times a month or so, I never had a video perform as poorly as some of these did, which seems really strange to me. You would think that you would be rewarded for posting a lot, like on YouTube, but maybe that's not the case. Again, gonna take some more trial and error. I think for the next couple months, I'm gonna try posting more like 3 or 4 times a week and see how that goes. Like right here, see this video of the Argosy bookstore that was about a minute long, minute and a half long, has 28 views. That does not make sense to me at all. I don't understand why it would have done that poorly. It just seems like some of these videos really weren't being pushed out. All of that being said though, even though I did have several videos over that month really not do well, it all kind of balanced out because I also had several do really, really well. I also didn't feel like I wasted a ton of time or anything because none of those videos took me a very long time to create. So here are my analytics for August, so you can see just how many people you can reach. I got 172,000 impressions, which is just the amount of time your video has been shown to people, giving them the option to click on it. I got over 25,000 views, which I think is pretty awesome for a smallish creator. For comparison, here are my YouTube analytics for the same date range. So I got 159,000 impressions on YouTube and 10,400 views. This is with less videos going up and less subscribers, yes, but I put so much less time and energy into NewsBreak. The videos that go up over there are just so much lower maintenance than a full-fledged YouTube video. So now for the part that everyone really wants to know. How much money did I make on NewsBreak in August with 31 videos? The simple answer to that is $316.83. However, NewsBreak's analytics are not great. There's not much info, they tend to be a little laggy, and sometimes revenue doesn't show up for several days after you've actually earned it. So on this page, you're not seeing what I made for a lot of the views from the past 3 or so videos of that month. So what I did was I didn't post anything at the beginning of September to give it some time to catch up. So a few days into September, it caught up, and I got an additional $13.01. This brings me to my somewhat estimated total of $329.84 for the month of August. I did, of course, continue to make some revenue off these videos for the rest of September. It is slowing down now, though. Something to note about NewsBreak is that the videos don't seem to have a ton of longevity, so I wouldn't count on making passive income next year from something that you upload right now, like is possible on YouTube when a video does really well. I also just want to throw in a quick warning for you that comments on NewsBreak can be pretty brutal sometimes. I've definitely gotten a lot more hate comments on NewsBreak than I ever have on YouTube. So if this is something that you think might bother you, just don't read the comments. I don't want to discourage you from putting up videos over something like that. I promise you can handle it. If you think you can't, just don't read them, especially if you're not even putting your face on camera or it's not anything personal. The comments aren't even going to be about you. They're just going to be things like, people think your city's a hellhole, or this video is really lame and boring and why would anyone watch it? And that's just not your problem. It's not your problem. So just a warning, but don't worry about it too much. Overall, I am extremely pleased with my experience and with how much money I made in a month on NewsBreak when I started taking it seriously. And I am so grateful to John for putting this idea in my brain. His video will be linked in the description, by the way. It was easy. It didn't take up too much time. I would say over the course of August, I really only spent about 6 or 7 hours total working on NewsBreak stuff. I definitely intend to keep posting over there and see how much I can increase my income as my following over there grows. So now let's talk about why I think you can do it too. I'm not at all totally oblivious to the fact that it is easier for me as someone with a lot of experience making video content. I understand this. I can do basic edits like adding music to a video in just a few minutes. It doesn't take me long to make a simple thumbnail like the ones that I have on my NewsBreak videos. But I also don't think that these things are necessary to be successful on NewsBreak. I see videos on NewsBreak performing well all the time that just have the auto-generated thumbnail that NewsBreak made, or that don't have any background music at all. It's just whatever audio was happening when the video was filmed. And those videos perform well anyway. It's not about how flashy the video is, it's just the content. So if people are interested in what is happening in this video that you've posted, they're gonna watch it. It really doesn't have to be fancy. You may think you live somewhere boring. But like I said earlier, you don't have to live somewhere like New York City to be successful on NewsBreak. And it honestly seems like living in a smaller or mid-sized city might have its advantages. You've got less people and less content to compete with. Since NewsBreak puts a real emphasis on being locally focused, they are sending out content to the people in your area, and those people automatically care more about what's happening there. And again, I can't stress enough that you really don't need any fancy equipment at all. Almost everybody these days has a smartphone, right? So when you're out and about, you're taking a walk around your favorite neighborhood, grab your smartphone and record a little bit of your walk and post that. Those videos that I was talking about earlier that perform so well, riding the subway, driving across those bridges, I was traveling. Those were all things that I was doing anyway. Like, I was just sitting in the car. So I just took out my phone and recorded what was happening. You don't need all this extra time to make some content. If you just look at what's around you, take out your phone, which you probably have on you anyway, and record it. You really don't have to overthink it, and you never know what's going to do well. I mean, I never dreamed that people were going to be so interested in watching an escalator, but obviously they were. I really wanted to make this video and share this with you because I just think there are so many videos out there about side hustles that are really niche or hard to get into, or they're a little scammy. And this is just not that at all. I truly believe that anyone with a smartphone can do this, especially those of you who are a little more creatively minded. I do have a contributor referral link that I'm going to put in the description. If you go through that link to apply, I do get a commission once you upload a certain amount of videos. And listen, I don't have the data behind this. I don't know if it's true, but I kind of feel like if you use a referral link, you're also maybe a little bit more likely to be accepted to the program. Again, I can't be completely sure about that, but it makes sense to me. If you don't want to be a contributor, but you want to see what NewsBreak's all about, I also have a user referral link that you can use to download the app, and I get $5. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to do anything but download the app, and I get $5. So I would really appreciate if you could do that. That link's in the description too. Let me know in the comments if you would consider giving NewsBreak a try. Please give this video a like for me if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel. It really, really helps me out. Click here to see how much I made in my first month as a monetized YouTuber, or here to see how much I spend in a month as a 27-year-old living in New York City. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.